Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Welcome to another episode of Kokoist Monday Masters. Today, we are going to be covering literally a sensitive topic. We have all kinds of questions all the time in our DMs, in the comment section, all over the place going, what can I do to reduce heat spikes? Are heat spikes normal? Why do they happen? Why does it hurt so much? What can I do to make it hurt a little bit less? Don't worry, I'm here to help. Today, we're going to go over what a heat spike is, why it happens, and how to reduce that sensation for your clients. Let's get started. The term heat spike is a kind of generalized colloquialism for an exothermic reaction. So when we are painting with a liquid gel and we are placing it inside the LED or UV light, there is a polymerization process that is happening when it comes into contact with that light. Basically, this polymerization process is defined by the formulation of chains and bonds between the molecules within that liquid gel to create a solid surface. When these chain reactions start to happen, there is an energy release happening from those molecules, and this is what is going to result in that exothermic reaction, that heat spike. Generally, this is seen with bases, builders, and top coats, although there are other exceptions. There's exceptions to every rule. These polymerization processes are going to happen with every single kind of gel, so there may be some kind of sensation with any kind of coat. Typically, though, you are going to feel it more with your bases, builders, and your top coat. This sensation can be very surprising and very uncomfortable and sometimes quite painful for a client. So we want to make sure that we are doing everything we can as a service provider to prevent, reduce, and eliminate these heat spikes as much as possible. This is especially true if we are dealing with a client that has very sensitive nails, very weak nails. Maybe they've been overfiled in the past. We want to make sure that the way that we are applying our gel and the way that we are curing our gel is gentle. It's a little bit nicer. There's a couple different ways that we can achieve this. Now, as a general rule, when it comes to heat spikes, more gel is going to create more of a heat spike because we have more of that chemical reaction happening within that gel, right? More molecules moving around, more exothermic release. So if you have a client that has a very, very sensitive nail, it can be very beneficial to start with one or two thin layers of gel over top of that natural nail, just to make sure they have a little bit of protection so that they're not going to have the direct heat spike right on their natural nail. If you are building any kind of structure, any kind of enhancement over top of a nail and you are concerned about that heat spike, it may be in your best interest to do two thinner structural applications so that you have two thinner overlays. So the one is going to be a little bit less of a heat spike, and then especially because you'll have that pre-existing structure over the natural nail, the second layer of structure is going to be a little bit more comfortable. You're going to really reduce the amount of heat that your client is going to sense. The next recommendation I'm going to make to you is going to be flash curing. Now, flash curing is defined by the act of curing a gel for about 5 to 10 seconds, just to kind of seize the gel in place, start the polymerization process. So if you've applied a structural application, that 5 to 10 seconds is going to stop it from moving, shifting, flooding, or getting kind of out of control. And 5 to 10 seconds isn't going to incite as much of a painful heat spike for your client as much as a full 60-second cure. So you can use something like our new stick light with the flexible holder. This is a hands-free flash curing unit, so you can just hold the client's nail underneath here, gently tap it, and flash cure for 5 to 10 seconds, just to make sure that it's not going to go anywhere, and give it a little bit of time for the sensation maybe to die down, and then they can go ahead and go in for a full cure. You could even use this technique to speed up your application process a little bit, so you could apply one overlay to your pinky, flash cure, turn it off. Apply your second overlay to your ring finger, flash cure, turn it off. And then go all the way down the hand so that you flash cured everything. It's not going to move on you. You're going to reduce the amount of heat spike that your client is going to feel when they go in for that full cure, and you're going to work a little bit more efficiently. Using a flash curing unit like this is always going to give you less of a heat spike as well because you're going to have less diodes actively curing that gel. So it's going to cure a little bit slower, which is really, really beneficial when it comes to reducing heat spikes. Your next option when it comes to reducing those heat spikes is going to be using an LED or UV curing unit with a low heat mode. So if we look at our LeBlanc lamp here, this beauty right here, we have the 10, 30, and 60-second curing modes, but we also have 90-second, and underneath you'll see that it says low heat. When you push this and activate it, it's actually going to blink on and off when it is in that active curing mode, which is great because it's going to slow down that polymerization process and significantly reduce the amount of heat spike that your client senses. Now, if I am using that low heat curing mode, because the polymerization process has slowed down, this also means that the gel is going to have a little bit more of an opportunity to maybe move and shift on you before it seizes completely. So I would still recommend that you use something like our stick light and just giving it a little bit of a flash cure for 5 to 10 seconds to make sure that that gel really stops moving or shifting to prevent flooding or any kind of apex compromisation before we go ahead and use that low heat mode with our LeBlanc lamp. And if you don't have your stick light yet, don't worry. While you're waiting for it to come in your shipment, you can go ahead and just use like the 60-second mode or the 10-second mode just to cure that overlay in place before you go ahead and switch to the 90-second low heat mode. If you don't yet own a LeBlanc lamp, or if you just have a LED or UV curing unit that does not have a low heat mode, you can, for the meantime, just have your client place their hand in for a couple seconds, take it out for a couple seconds, place it in for a couple seconds, take it out for a couple seconds, until that heat spike sensation begins to fade, and then they can go in for a full cure. You do just want to make sure that your client goes in for that full 60-second cure with any kind of overlay so that you're not leaving any uncured gel on the nail. But if you are ready to invest, the Kokoist LeBlanc lamp and the flexible holder stick light are available right now on kokoistusa.com. Highly recommend both of them. They really make your life a lot easier when it comes to preventing heat spikes. So yes, heat spikes are normal. Yes, when it comes to gel, they are kind of a fact of life, but no, we do not have to suffer. A lot of your clients will say, "Oh, I like the pain, I like the burn, I'm okay with this, I'm like fully fine. I'd rather feel that heat and know that the gel is really curing on there. They're making it feel like it's something that makes it really, really work, but it's not that way. We can cure this a little more slowly. You're still going to get really good adhesion. It's not going to affect the actual lasting power of this gel if they cure it just a little bit more slowly. That's okay. We just want to make sure we're getting a full cure. Tell your clients they do not have to be superheroes. We're not expecting them to save the world today." So there you go, a little bit more information on how to prevent those really nasty heat spikes. As always, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, we have our cute little comment section right down below. Feel free to drop your questions in there. We'll do our very best to get back to you as quickly as possible. Other than that, I hope you have a super fantastic work week. Stay busy, stay inspired, and we will see you right back here in 7 days for another episode of Monday Masters. Take care.